Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on AWS IoT Greengrass. So this lecture will contain all these topics. What is AWS IoT Greengrass? Core components, how it works, what is a component, core software architecture, other key concepts for AWS IoT Greengrass, AWS IoT Greengrass core software tasks. So what is AWS IoT Greengrass? AWS IoT Greengrass is an open source Internet of Things edge runtime platform that combines an IoT edge runtime with cloud services that enables you to build, deploy and manage IoT applications on your devices. With AWS IoT Greengrass, devices can act locally on the data they generate, allowing for faster processing and reduced latency. This local processing capability enables devices to filter and aggregate data at the edge. AWS IoT Greengrass allows devices to run predictions based on machine learning models directly on the edge, enhancing real-time decision-making capabilities. The platform ensures secure communication between devices on the local network as well as with AWS IoT Core and the AWS Cloud, maintaining data integrity and privacy. AWS IoT Greengrass seamlessly connects with AWS IoT Core and enables the export of IoT data to the AWS Cloud, which allows for comprehensive data management and analysis. So AWS IoT Core is another service which interacts with IoT Greengrass. The platform offers pre-built software modules called components, which simplify the process of connecting edge devices to AWS services or third-party services. AWS IoT Greengrass provides flexibility in deploying edge applications, supporting Lambda functions, Docker containers, native OS processes, or custom runtimes, catering to diverse development needs and preferences. So core components. So this is very high level overview. So I'll be covering in detail in next few slides. So on the left you have a core IoT Greengrass core device. So IoT device will have IoT apps, then IoT Greengrass client software, and AWS IoT Greengrass enables local processing, messaging, data management, ML inference, and offers pre-built components to accelerate application development. On the right you have AWS Cloud and the service which interacts with the device, and its IoT Greengrass cloud service. And AWS IoT Greengrass helps you build, deploy and manage your device software across your fleets of devices. So how it works? AWS IoT Greengrass runs on Windows and Linux distributions. So the core software operates both on Windows and Linux based distributions such as Ubuntu, Raspberry Pi OS. The software is compatible with devices that have ARM or x86 architectures. Devices can process the data they generate locally and run predictions using machine learning models. AWS IoT Greengrass supports local execution of AWS Lambda functions, Docker containers, native OS processes or custom runtimes. The service provides pre-built components to extend edge device functionality easily. Components enable communication or connection to AWS services and third-party applications at the edge. So it's the component which connects with the AWS services and third-party applications. And after developing IoT applications, AWS IoT Greengrass allows remote deployment, configuration and management of these applications on your fleet of devices in the field. So let's see some important architectural items of the component, which is basically, first is a component which is basically a Greengrass component. So a Greengrass component is a software module that is deployed to and runs on a Greengrass core device. AWS IoT Greengrass provides pre-built public components for features and functionality. You can also develop custom components locally or in the cloud. Custom components can be deployed to single or multiple core devices using the AWS IoT Greengrass cloud service. So it includes something called as recipe, which is a JSON or YAML file. So a recipe is a JSON or YAML file that describes the software module by defining component details, configurations, and parameters. It also includes something called as artifact, which is the source code, binary, or scripts. So artifacts are the source code, binaries, or scripts that define the software running on your device. These can be created from scratch or using Lambda functions, Docker containers, or custom runtimes. And dependencies define relationships between components to enforce automatic updates or restarts of dependent components. For example, a secure message processing component can depend on an encryption component, ensuring updates to the encryption component automatically update and restart the message processing component. So component, there are three major parts. One is consist of recipe, artifact, and dependency. And artifact can be one of the types, so Lambda function, Docker, or custom runtime. Now let's see the core software architecture of Greengrass that gets deployed. So the set of all AWS IoT Greengrass software that you install on a core device. AWS IoT Greengrass core software comprise the following. First one, Nucleus. This required component provides the minimum functionality of the AWS IoT Greengrass core software. The Nucleus manages deployments, orchestration, and lifecycle management of other components. It also facilitates communication between AWS IoT Greengrass component locally on an individual device. Then we have optional components. These configurable components are provided by AWS IoT Greengrass and enable additional features on your edge devices. Depending on your requirements, you can choose the optional component that you want to deploy to your device, such as data streaming, local machine learning inference, or local command line interface. Okay, now let's go to some other key concepts also. So we have seen component, we have seen the core software architecture, and some more things that we should be aware of. First one is AWS IoT thing. So an AWS IoT thing is a representation of a specific device or logical entity. Information about a thing is stored in the AWS IoT registry. So this is maintained at the cloud level, and it's in a service called AWS IoT registry. Greengrass core device, a device that runs the AWS IoT Greengrass core software. A Greengrass core device is an AWS IoT thing. You can add multiple core devices to AWS IoT thing groups to create and manage groups of Greengrass core devices. Greengrass client device. A Greengrass client device connects to a Greengrass core device via MQTT, functioning as an AWS IoT thing. The core device processes, filters, and aggregates data from connected client devices. Configuration allows the core device to relay MQTT messages among client devices, AWS IoT core cloud services, and Greengrass components. Client devices utilizes free RTOS client devices utilize free RTOS, AWS IoT device SDK, or Greengrass Discovery API to access information on compatible core devices for connection. Then we have something called deployment. Deployment in Greengrass involves sending and applying component configurations to target devices, whether a single core device or a group. Updates are automatically applied, including defined dependencies. Cloning a deployment creates a new one with the same components for a different target. Updates to components or configurations are continuously sent to all targets. Okay, now let's see so this will be AWS IoT Greengrass core software tasks. So what all operations the core software does. So you can use AWS IoT Greengrass core software that runs on your edge devices to do the following tasks. First one, process data streams on the local device with automatic exports to the AWS cloud. Second, it supports MQTT messaging between AWS IoT and components. Third, interact with local devices that connect and communicate over MQTT. Support local publish and subscribe messaging between components. Deploy and invoke components and Lambda functions. Manage component lifecycle such as with support for install and run scripts. Perform secure over-the-air OTA software updates of the AWS IoT Greengrass core software and custom components. Provide secure encrypted storage of local secrets and controlled access by components. Secure connections between devices and the AWS cloud with device authentication and authorization. You configure and manage Greengrass core devices through AWS IoT Greengrass APIs, where you create continuous software deployments. And that's all. Thanks for watching.